Welcome to the 34th episode of the MC Knitting Adventures podcast. My name's Colleen.
And my name is May. Welcome to those returning viewers, and for those of you who are watching us for a first time, welcome. We're glad you're here. Now, today's adventure takes us all the way to Kingston, Ontario. But before we begin, we are not going to talk about what we're wearing because it's still summer and it's too warm to wear some of the knitted articles that you wear. So that's that. So I guess next we'll
talk about finished objects. My first finished object is my shawl. It's the Besties for Life shawl.
That's us, the Besties for Life.
Besties for Life. So we talked about this last time, and I had not woven in the ends and I had not blocked it. And I will tell you that the lace just opened up, and I'm so glad that I can show it to you finished. So it's made by the Shelridge Yarns 80/20 figuring. There's 4 different shades, and it becomes a gradient. The kit that I bought actually had 5, but the pattern by Cozy Up Designs, by the way, beautiful pattern, only called for 4. So 4 50-gram skeins. And I am thrilled how this came up because I'm a purple lady, but this is green and I love it.
How did you decide which gradient color to take out?
Well, you and I sat with all the colors and we kind of started moving them side by side and went, okay, no, these ones are too close. No, we can take this one out. And so what's really nice is I have another 50-gram skein, so I can put that into a shawl and add just that pop of color. So I'm looking forward to using it up.
Okay.
So here it is.
It turned out amazing. I love it.
The word is bloomed. It is humongous.
Wow.
But the lace really opened up, and I am absolutely thrilled with it.
Wow. It turned out fantastic.
Exactly.
You know, it is summer, but I think you could wear this in the summer if it wasn't so much of it. Like if it was just this part.
Yep.
You know, I'm sure you could do something with that. And then you could wear it in the summer.
I was talking to May about just hacking this part and having that be something that she could wear.
Yeah.
Just making it a small something. That looks brilliant.
And it's nice and light for the summer.
Exactly.
You could probably get away with that.
And I think I'm going to be going back to work very shortly for a little bit. And I think what's going to happen is if it's air conditioned like it used to be air conditioned, I will be taking this to
Happy
school
retirement. How did that happen?
I don't know, but there we go. So I'm really, really happy with that. Mm-hmm. And I love the colors.
I love it too. Like I think it's a great color. It's nice. Different than the purple. You know,
exactly.
It'll go great with your...
I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
You know, wear it with a nice white turtleneck pair of jeans.
Perfect.
We're good to go. I don't know, turtleneck? How can you talk about that when the humidity's at 35? I don't know. So my next finished object is a mashup. I talked about it being Frankenstein, but I think mashup sounds good. Because what I did was I took the parts out of 3 different patterns that I really, really liked and put them together, and I'm really thrilled with how the socks came out. So I started with the ribbing from Tracie Millar's Georgia socks. Okay, that's Tracie, one of the grocery girls. And I had made these Georgia socks and I loved how the ribbing worked. Okay, it adds a detail. So I was really thrilled about that. And then I did the rest of it, well, not quite the rest of it, up to the toe. I did the Rose City Rollers by Mary Catherine Bryner. And one of our viewers actually said she liked what they did and she thought she was going to make a pair.
Oh, nice.
So I'm wishing you well and hopefully that works out for you. Now, when I asked my sister about these socks, because I couldn't surprise her, I don't remember how big your feet are. So she told me and she said her foot was wide and I thought, okay, I don't want a toe going to a point and I'm not sure how rounded, but I know a toe. And this toe comes from the Jemima socks by K.F. Jones of the Bakery Bears. So I'm kind of traveling the world to get these socks done.
This is a mishmash.
A mishmash. We call them mashup. It's kind of like when you put a bunch of songs together.
Wow, that looks very complicated.
It is, and when you see the socks, they're just very tiny. But I picked what I liked out of all of them, and I think these are going to be perfect for her. So there, I'll let you hold those up.
Okay.
So this is the yarn that we've talked about before. It's the perfect pair, Loops&Threads. You can get this at Michael's, and we just had a 55% off coupon, so I don't know in your neck of the woods what that is, but that's thrilling.
And I heard one of our friends told us the other day, also in Michael's, if you're around that area, if you're a senior, you get discounts too.
Okay, and what does the senior mean?
The senior means 55 and up.
Okay.
But you want to check with your store, but I'm pretty
Yes,
sure it's 55 and up.
absolutely.
At our area, it's 55 and up. In your area,
Exactly.
it might be 60, but
All right.
it's not good when they give it to you right away. You don't ask.
That's true.
It's always nice when you have to tell them that you're old.
Exactly. Oh dear, it's
sorry.
funny. That's okay. So there's the ribbing that I liked. The rest is the regular Rose City rollers, and then it is what's called an umbrella toe, and it's a design by KF Jones. So I can't. It's a paid-for pattern, so I can't talk to you about that. But I think these are going to be great. I couldn't decide socks or slippers, but I think she will love these. So these are for her birthday.
They're pretty close.
Yeah, not I had just enough. I actually thought I was going to be playing yarn chicken, but I made you a pair out of this. I made you your little Christmas ornament.
All right.
And I had enough left.
Wow.
So I'm really, really happy with that.
Great.
So those are for her birthday in December. Happy birthday, Kathleen. You probably won't be watching this, but that's okay because surprise, there it is. All right, my last finished object is a shawl. It's called the Zefferus shawl, and that's by Shannon Dunbabin. Okay, and she works for Cascade Yarns. She's
Paid
a
for
lot
pattern?
of it is a paid for pattern. The yarn is the Cascade Yarns Ultra Pima, and it is kind of a DK weight, so 22 to 24 stitches for 4 inches. Anyway, so we had seen this pattern when we were at the Four Pearls Yarn Shop in Central Florida. Love the shop. It was fantastic. And I found this color of blue cotton yarn. Now, cotton is heavier than I thought. And this is long.
Every day's a learning curve, though, don't you
Exactly. So I'm pleased that I worked with cotton because it was hot in the summer. Now, I haven't technically blocked it. I kind of did a lot of folding because I needed to get that Besties for Life shawl blocked. So if we just drag it across and drag it across and drag it across and drag it across and drag it across.
This is the scarf that never ends.
Exactly.
And you know, it is very heavy with cotton. I don't know, if you were to do this again, would you do it in cotton or would you do it in something else?
You know, I wouldn't actually mind doing this in wool or maybe a cotton wool blend. I have a few of those and I think that makes
So
be
what
nice.
do you think of this? Do you think it's a
I'm
little
really
heavy?
happy with it because you know what's going to happen? It's going to sit well. It's got a good drape to it and it's going to sit well.
And you know what, it will be nice in the winter.
Yeah.
It'll keep you a little bit warmer. I don't know if it, because it may be heavy and there's a lot of it.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
really
know,
happy
but
with
it
that.
feels
It'll do
heavy,
that
yeah.
wrap around and probably,
I couldn't wear this, it's too heavy.
right.
I wish I had a scale. I'd weigh this and tell you. Very heavy. I can't imagine you wearing this.
I will, absolutely.
It's too heavy.
No,
I
it's
think.
not too heavy at all. Let's take a look. Okay, it'll have to be around there. Okay, you can bring that there. This can come back this way.
I'm sweating already just watching.
Okay, it is hot, but this isn't hot. No, I like it, and
Yeah,
I
I
like
guess it's okay.
Yeah,
okay,
and I like
take
how
that back.
I like how it's draped in the picture. I'm really, really happy with that.
Perfect.
So that is my finished object. Any finished objects for you this
You know what,
episode?
Colleen, I'm glad you asked. I don't really have any finished
Okay.
objects, but
How are your fingers from felting?
they're still recovering.
Okay. You had a lot of good comments about your felting and people saying you got to keep with it.
Yes, but maybe at another time. When
Okay.
my finger recovers.
All right, we have to get the finger cut.
You know, I don't have any finished objects, but I'm not feeling very guilty about that because I've been kind of busy. And I'm going to share that with you. What I've been busy doing is I've decided to sell some vintage items. We have a small vintage, maybe an antique, more
Right.
little store right down the road from us, maybe a
Right.
5-minute walk.
Yeah.
And so I have rented a little area, small little area by the month. And I'm going to go around and I've already purchased some vintage items to put in my little store. I'm excited to start that and I'm hoping to grow it
Right.
eventually and start selling products on Etsy so
Right.
that I can share my finds with you. So when we go on our knitting adventures, we can go on our adventure to find vintage little things that I can share with you.
Well, that is really exciting.
So it's not that I haven't been sitting around doing
No,
eating
you have
bonbons.
been busy.
Yes, I have. And there's our phone.
So we'll get right back to you.
Probably my mother, because she has a tendency to do that every time we podcast. We'll be
Okay.
right back.
Okay.
And we're back.
And the good thing about the phone call is I got a chance to take that shawl off because it's so hot in Ontario right now. I started sweating, so it actually worked out well.
Good. And now, because I'm so old, I can't remember where we were. Can you remind me?
You were talking about vintage items and your...
Oh, right, my little store that I've started, my little thing. So anyway, that's exciting. I'll keep you informed. I'll show you pictures when I get my little stall, it's kind of like a bookshelf that I'm renting, and I'll give you some photos of that when that gets up and going. So
if any of you are doing any selling on Etsy, we'd love you to comment and let us know how easy it is to set up, things you would recommend, things to do. That would be a big help.
Yeah. So I've done some Googling about it, but I'm not sure about the shipping. If you have any ideas about shipping and some advice would be great.
Perfect. And next we're going to talk about works in progress. My first work in progress is the start of the Arboreal sweater by Jennifer Steingass. And I am using 2 yarns. So I'm using a tweed, which is Knit Picks City Tweed DK. It's lovely. And I'm mixing it with Northfield from Valley Yarns. It's wool, alpaca, and silk. So I tried to match them up as best I can. Now it's a little difficult. Sorry there, me. It's a little difficult because I don't have a very big cable on it. But here's what we have so far. Now I'm using a much bigger needle, a couple size bigger needle. So I'm hoping that this will all spread out. Right now it kind of looks all bunchy, but when you do that, I'm going to show you my floats on my back. There's nothing that's too tight. So I think this will block out really well. I had purchased this color, which is called, let me just remind myself, it's called Kitten. And this is the one I was talking about. It's a little bit more beige than I thought it would be. Or I don't know, it's just a little bit more beigey, I think. So what I did was decide to pick up the black, which is, there's a black fleck in this, and I think it's going to, right around my face, it's going to take some of that beige
that's really
away.
nice. I think that's
I love
great.
the neckline. I really love that neckline. So I think it's going to be good.
I'm excited to see the end product of this.
I know. It's difficult to work on right now because it's hot.
It's warm.
It's warm. All right.
Not that we're complaining, because we do like the heat.
Yes. And in the winter, we don't like the cold. We can't complain when it's warm.
We're never happy. We're just never happy.
That's right. All right, my second work in progress is a shawl, and it is called the Ollivander shawl, and that's by K.F. Jones. I have had this in my library for a long time, and I just thought it's time. So I also have had this yarn in my stash for a while, and I'm all about using stash.
I love that you're using your stash.
So this is by Sweet Georgia, and there's 2 colors. So one is a variegated, and it is called Cloud Break. And the other color is this color, and that is called Slate.
Nice.
It's really nice together.
Love these colors together. This didn't come together. Like, you actually had to pick this and then pick this. I can't remember what
I bought them together at the same time. And this is at the very beginning of me buying nice yarn. I had seen that there was a 30% off sale. So even with shipping, it was cheaper than I could get it here.
Wow,
so
it's beautiful.
I know, it feels
Gorgeous
really,
yarn.
really nice. And what I love about this pattern is it's garter stitch. So the color, that's okay. The color is doing all the work. Oops.
I'll hold that up for you.
Perfect.
Oh, this is lovely. I love the colors.
So it uses the Fibonacci sequence, if I am correct. I'm sure I read that. Yes, it's called the Fibonacci sequence. I'm a math teacher, so that's perfect. And so it's the way that the colors are done, how many rows. Now, this Cloud Break has the same gray. So there's times when it looks like I've put another row in and I haven't really, but I'm really, really loving this.
Oh yeah, I love the colors.
Yes, and it's going to block out nicely. So that is the Ollivander shawl.
Yep, perfect.
I really, really like that. That would be a great carnet, absolutely. And this next one I've been working on for a little bit, and I was trying to surprise somebody. So you will know the Anguli Cowl by Hilary Smith Callis.
My favorite.
It is your favorite. And this yarn, that Perfect Pair by Loops&Threads. Once again, you can get that at Michael's. And I just worked away on it and didn't say a word. And I worked away on it, and I worked away on it. And then May finally said the other day, it might have been yesterday, she said, "Oh, that would make a great cowl. Are you making a washcloth?" I said, "Well, I don't know what I'm making." So this is your surprise, which isn't really a surprise.
This is going to be wonderful.
It's beautiful.
Look at the colors on that.
Oh my gosh, it's so
Wow.
pretty. These are your colors.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you for that. It's so light. The yarn is
I know.
amazing.
I know.
Tell me about this yarn.
So it is
Wow.
73% acrylic, 23% viscose from bamboo, and 7% polyester.
Cashmere?
No cashmere.
Just check it, but it feels like it's cashmere.
Feels really, really
now,
nice.
is this an expensive yarn? I have no idea.
No. So this...
It's not. It feels expensive.
Okay. So this is when you will not have sticker shock. So a skein of this has
I do get sticker shock.
454 yards. And it is $7.99 at Michael's.
With the 40% off coupon.
Yes, well, we could do that.
Wow.
So the other day was the 55% off coupon, and so I went and bought myself, it's gray and pink and purple.
Wow.
So I'm going to make one for myself as well, because what I really like about this, I love this pattern, by the way, but you end up with all these ends to weave in, and I thought I just want to see how this self-striping yarn does, and it looks amazing. And look, I'm only going to have the start and the finish. That's all the ends that are going to need to be woven in.
That is going to be, I can't wait to wear that.
I think it will look really nice. Those colors are yours. Just
I might,
absolutely.
when you're finished this, I may wear this on the next podcast.
Oh, that would be brilliant. I would be glad. So I better get my act together. Once again, this is also
No
good.
rush. No pressure.
Okay. The good news about this is also good card knitting, right? So I'm not worried about DPN needles, and it's just garter stitch back and forth, and I'm not having to change colors. So I know I have to knit to a certain number of stitches, and then I'm on the decrease side, so it's working its way down. So those are my works in progress, and next we're going to talk about our adventure.
Today's adventure took us to Kingston, Ontario, a lovely little place. And one of the reasons we went there is because Colleen had gone there to work one time by the train. And she came home and she said, you have to see this place. Like we've heard about
beautiful.
Kingston Penitentiary, we've heard about Kingston, but I had never been there. And Colleen said, it's just wondrous on the waterfront, but you had gone there in the winter.
Yes, it was cold, and I had to do a presentation in Kingston. But I thought this would be really, really nice if you could actually walk outside.
Yeah,
it would
walk
be
at
great.
the waterfront. So,
exactly.
You had suggested that we go back there, and it was perfect because we could do this for one of our adventures. So we went to Kingston. The population is only about 124,000 people, so it's not a big place. They do rely on a little bit of the tourism, and I think that's because of its location. It is the eastern end of Lake Ontario, right between Toronto and Montreal. So it gets a lot of that traffic, but also it's right at the base of the St. Lawrence River. So I'm sure it has a lot of history there for when they settled back in the day.
Right.
Just because of access to the river.
Right.
So it's a beautiful little spot. I'm glad you suggested we went there. We did come from Picton because one of our adventures was, our last episode was Picton.
Right.
And we took the ferry, I believe it's Highway 33
Right.
that crosses.
Glenora,
and
the
goes
Glenora
right,
ferry.
Yep. And it goes right across Lake Ontario. It's a cute little ferry. It's only
it's
like
so
a 2-minute ferry ride.
know.
I think it only fits about maybe 10, 15 cars on it or
I
something
know.
like that. And they nicknamed Kingston the Limestone City. And the reason why it was nicknamed the Limestone City is because buildings were constructed, the heritage buildings were all constructed with the local limestone that they have there.
Right.
So that's pretty cool. Now, also they constructed in the 1840s, there's called these Martello Towers. And those were just in defense. There was no, I don't think there was any kind of war or anything that happened in that area, but they did have these defense towers put up.
Okay.
And you can see them right at the pier
Right.
when you walk down to where the boats and everything are. And I probably have a picture when I'll put one up.
Okay.
And they're called Martello Towers.
Okay.
There is the Kingston Penitentiary, and that's how I knew of Kingston. Growing up in London, Ontario, Kingston was just all about that big jail.
Exactly.
And that was built in 1835, and it closed down in 2013. Now they do have tours. We did mention about going there, but I don't know what happened. I must have forgot all about it because I really wanted to go and see that tour.
I know. It would have been interesting. I think it would have. There's lots to it.
There's lots of history there. There was a women penitentiary there, and it has since closed down. I think it closed down
okay.
in 2000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And on the waterfront there was a large train. I always want to know why they put a large train somewhere. There's got to be some significance.
Right.
And so in my research, I found out that it was the home of the Canadian Locomotive Company that built over 3,000 locomotives for all over Canada, steam engines, electrical, and diesel.
That's
and
amazing.
So it was really significant. That's why they
Exactly.
would put a big train there. I have a
Yeah.
picture of that too. I can show you.
Oh, good.
So another thing that was kind of funny about being there was, you know, it is touristy. It is the summer, and parking might be a bit of an issue. There are parking, but you have to walk.
Right.
And so there are parking spots down at the front.
Right.
And every time we got one parking spot, we would get it.
I know. We were
I'd
really,
have to
really
parallel
fortunate.
park, of course.
Yes, you did a great job.
But sure enough, we got one. We went on a boat cruise. So what did you think of that cruise, Colleen?
I loved that cruise. So it was a dinner cruise. You ended up with a 4-course meal. And it was a 3-hour cruise, not Gilligan Island 3-hour tour, but it was a 3-hour cruise, and it was amazing because it was around the Thousand Islands. There was an entertainer who
was quite funny.
He sang a little bit, gave us a little bit of the information,
Right.
and he was funny. And the interesting thing is that meal was cooked entirely on the ship, so it wasn't that they brought it in. You know how you get it on an airplane that it's all
Brought
heated up
in,
there.
yeah. The meal was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, the boat wasn't like a huge cruise ship. It was a
No.
little boat that could go through the
Right.
Thousand Islands. So you weren't expecting, you know, a meal to
Right.
that caliber on a ship like that,
Yeah.
like on a boat like that. It was amazing, and you could get up. I like that you could get up and take photos and go in and
Right.
out and have your dinner.
Exactly. It was great.
And it was just a wonderful experience, and I'll put some of the photos up there that you can see. And definitely recommend, if you go to Kingston on a little trip, that you take one of those cruises. It was
Right.
well worth money-wise. I think it was worth
Yeah,
worth
with
it.
what we
Yeah,
paid.
you got your money's worth for
Exactly, I agree.
sure. What else can I tell you about? On the ship, we went by, there's lots to see there. The water levels are very high, so everything
Right.
was kind of floating in
Right.
the Thousand Islands.
Right.
And you can buy those little islands. You can buy a little piece of island.
Again.
And you put your little cottage on there, or your
Right.
little hut. It was kind
Exactly.
of cool.
Yeah.
Now, back in the 1900s, this fellow named George Bolt built a castle. It's on the American side. So if you went there, you'd have to
Right.
take your
So
passport.
I'm just going to interrupt, apologize. We ended up taking another 1-hour tour because it was night. Well, it was later in the day when we'd seen things, and we wanted to
Right.
have something where you could get out a little bit better. So we went to Ivy Lee is where the dock was, where we got on the ship, and it
Right.
was a 1-hour tour, and that actually took us to Bold Castle.
Okay, so I guess our tour from Kingston only took us so far, and then
Right.
when we drove down, we got onto the Ivy. Thanks for
Right.
reminding me about that.
Yeah,
We
no
got
problem.
onto the Ivy, another tour, which was
Yeah.
not the dinner tour, and that's where we saw the Bolt Castle. And that's an American side. They have tours where you can get out,
Right.
and but you would need your passport because it is on the American side.
Exactly.
It's the state of New York, and
That castle
that
is
castle
amazing.
was amazing. Like, it was no hut.
No. No,
So this fellow George Bolt built this for his wife in early 1900s. He was a millionaire,
and then some.
and then some. And he built it for his wife. Well, his wife passed away suddenly, and he was so devastated, he just stopped. There was like 300 employees, and he just said, like, stop,
Yeah,
no more.
exactly.
And never was touched again. He never went there again,
Yeah.
and never touched it for 70 years. Very kind of a sad
Yeah,
story.
yeah,
Like,
that's-
you know, when
yeah.
you look at it, there's a
Yeah.
pleasure there of enjoyment of it,
Right.
but also the sadness that this poor man never got to enjoy it ever.
Right.
It was bought over by the fellow that does the Lifesaver candies,
Right.
and then I'm not sure what happened to it after that, but I know that I think the city must have bought it over, and they put $40 million restoration in it.
It is.
And it is something to see, and I think it's been great for the tourism there. And
Absolutely. When we were traveling around the island, because we didn't have our passports, which is we couldn't get off, you got to see everything. You got to see docks on either side. You got to see where the boats went in. I always find it interesting. It looks like a garage, but it's for your boat.
Yeah.
And so
I
now,
got good
if you
visions.
want to see more of Bold Castle, there is Martina McBride did a video of that. So just scroll through, just put Martina McBride video Bolt Castle, and then you'll find out. You get to see a little bit more of the castle.
Right.
The boat goes in.
They even had a playhouse for the kids that was like a little castle, and it was just a fun
Exactly.
house for them. He must have
Yeah,
had some
exactly.
vision back
Yeah. then.
then, but he had the money to have vision. I would have vision too if I had millions of dollars. So, you know, Thousand Islands are amazing. I've heard
We had a
about
great
those too, and just to see them was something else. And the weather was superb, perfect weather conditions.
Yeah, we lucked out.
You know,
that's
we
for sure.
really lucked out. And we did visit, that was part of our yarn store thing. But
Yes, it was.
so I'll let Colleen talk a little bit about that knit stitch, I believe it was called.
So it's called Knit Stitch Sew, and I'm going to say it was on Princess Street. So we visited it, and then we had a talk with Trisha Morris is her name. So she's the owner.
She was very nice.
She was lovely, and she explained, well, I'm glad that you're here, but pretty soon the store won't be because she's decided to close the brick and mortar store, but she's still going to have Knit Stitch Sew, and she's got all kinds of big plans. If you go onto her Instagram, which is in fact Knit Stitch Sew, you'll see things. And for instance, just in this last week, there was information about a thrummed mitten class. So she's going to have kind of pop-up classes. So if you want to follow her, she's got a website. So it's knitstitchsew.ca. She has her Instagram. So her idea is that she is going to have classes in a number of different places. She's going to kind of have a little bit like a trunk show of her things when she goes to teach the classes.
Did she talk about going to other people's homes and doing classes? And
Exactly.
that kind of thing? Like,
So
she was actually going to go to. It's a great marketing, you know, idea. It's a great idea. Like business-wise, I think it's good, and I hope it works for her. I wish her all the best in that. But I think that her idea is to go out to the people and not have the people come to her.
Right.
Which I think is a great idea.
I think it is a great idea because then you're not paying the rent. I mean, it's a tough thing to have a yarn store, right? And honestly, it was beautiful. Like, I really liked her store. It was bright and light, and it was great. But she's got such a vision for this other idea of her business, and I think she's going to be very successful.
I do too.
Yeah.
I wish her all the best.
Exactly. So you won't be able to go to the store, but you will be able to go onto her website and watch her Instagram feed. So once again, it's Knit Stitch Sew. And just take a look, because if you're anywhere near Kingston, you may be able to pop in to classes and see things like that.
Good.
All right, so that is the yarn store. And next we're going to talk about souvenirs. My first souvenir is actually a kit, and it is called Grey J by Diana Rozenshtyn. I'm hoping I'm saying it right. So there's the picture of it.
That looks nice.
It is beautiful. It's very lacy. Now this is cotton, but you'll notice it doesn't feel as heavy as the other cotton.
No, it's very light.
All right, and this has 60% Pima cotton and 40% rayon. So it doesn't have a color name. It's Barocco. And so you need 2 skeins of that to make this pattern, and I'm looking forward to. My understanding, it's knit from the bottom up. So I think it's going to be beautiful, and I'm really glad. I like that color.
That. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
Nice.
May, I feel badly because every time we're in a store and I'm trying to find something, I go, May, color. May, help me pick. So she's become
It's hard
my
to pick
color.
colors though.
It is.
I find it difficult, and I understand it's difficult to pick colors even online when you're buying yarn online, just because the monitors for some reason the monitors only pick up so much RGB or whatever that is.
Very good.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing, and then the second thing I picked up was some Primrose Yarn Company yarn. Now, I've seen this. I've watched it on podcasts. So Mum's the Word is the color. And this is, what do you think's in there?
Cashmere.
There is.
Is this for you?
Yes.
Just a guess.
So it's merino, cashmere, and nylon. And I loved, I mean, obviously it's purple, but it's got these lovely flecks of blue. So last episode, I asked you for that 1 skein shawl information. And a number of you gave me some ideas. So I'm going to research those because this is, in fact, that 1 skein, and I would love to do something special with it.
You left the price on this one.
I
I'm
did.
having a little sticker shock.
Don't even look at it. It comes from the States. I knew it was expensive, but I'd always wanted to have some Primrose yarn. So sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. So
anyway, it's lovely. I hope it's worth it.
it will be worth every penny. Don't worry, it's be worth every penny. So that is my souvenirs. And May?
I don't have a souvenir, but one of my souvenirs is bringing home a really good memory. We were at the Best Western Hotel, and you know, when you're booking hotels online, you never know what you're going to get.
Right.
You know, and anyway, we usually go for 4-star or whatever, don't we?
Well, we want something that you're going to be comfortable with.
Yes. So anyway, we're at this Best Western, and it was kind of away from the downtown, maybe 5 minutes. You just kind of drove
Straight
down Princess Street, which is 5 minutes away. So it was not right in the core, so you weren't paying the prices of the core hotels. Best Western, oh my gosh, it was the most unique, nicest hotel I think I've ever been in. The cleanest. I mean, it wasn't the great big city kind of towering. It was kind of had character. Had a little cute little restaurant that was spotless. Had little nooks and crannies. The room itself, I think every room there had a fireplace.
It was amazing. It was really, really beautiful.
Beautiful fireplace. But they had updated it. It was an older hotel that they had updated, and it was spotless. Like, I don't think I've been in a cleaner hotel.
And they were so friendly and welcoming and wanted to help you, and it was great.
They even, what impressed me, they had the channel changer that was one of those ones that were what you could wipe.
Yeah, exactly.
And I thought, it doesn't take much to impress me, but I was impressed. The pool area was absolutely, I didn't even get any pictures of the pool because I didn't really want to take the cameras to the pool, I think.
Right.
But we spent a lot of time at the pool there for a few days because the weather was... It was very
warm.
hot.
So we did a lot of our touring in the morning, and then we spent the afternoon by the pool.
And so we lay by the pool, and I wish I'd gotten some photos, but I probably didn't want to see me in the bathing suit. There's one thing worse about buying a bathing suit is wearing a bathing suit. Anyway, but I did enjoy that. I read a book, and that's the first book I think I've read in 10 years. But enjoyed that. Been able to relax and enjoy that.
Yeah,
and just spending time with you was wonderful.
So we had a wonderful trip to Kingston. We loved our cruises. We loved the pool. We loved the hotel. We had an absolutely wonderful time. And it was great to get to the yarn store. I know it's not going to be brick and mortar anymore, but I would, really take a look at Tricia Morris's at Knit Stitch Sew, and just keep an eye on it because I think she's going to be all over.
I think I think you're right. I think that's going to be an upcoming thing going on, and people might model after her after this with their ideas because she's young and she's excited and she's enthusiastic about this. So
so it's going to be great.
Yeah.
So thank you to those of you who are watching us. Please subscribe, like us. Comment down below. Let us know what you'd like to see. We are always looking for an adventure, and sometimes something's, just nearby and we don't even know about it. So thank you again, and until next time.
You take care.